Well, hello, everyone. Thank you guys for joining us today. Just to have a conversation.
I stopped there to work in sports. I looked at something that was growing in America. This is kind of my general thoughts in 2016 when I didn't know much about the sport or what was going on here and in Detroit and with Detroit City FC. Obviously had a relationship with Sean Mann, but the bigger thing was just the support that we have from the community, and that's due to building this club in the community, but also everything that our supporters have done to kind of help bolster what we do. So it makes my job easier. Obviously, we have some great players on the field as well. So that kind of led me to the space, and it's kind of the why, I guess, for now. Yep.
Warren, what about you, my friend?
Yeah. As he just said, appreciate you facilitating this conversation for us. Looking forward to a really fun weekend. How I got involved in this game, I mean, I grew up playing the game, obviously. Started playing at a really young age, and just came off of a 9-year MLS career. So I've been around the game my whole life, and it's given me a lot. And through that, it's always been a point of mine to be able to give it back throughout different steps of my career, And I think it's been a really cool journey to get here, both, in on the field, creatively, off the field. I think it's been really cool to see those things come together to lead to this moment. Relationships with people like Patrick Rose that have reached out when he was doing his study, on black faces in the game, and what that looks like and why or why not, there may or may not be more of us in it, right? And additionally, Aaron Maines with FSV and having that relationship. He was actually the first agent that I said no to in in college. But it's kind of cool to see these kind of random paths lead to this Black Star Initiative, as those two have come together and created this really cool venture that we're having the opportunity to launch alongside DCFC and in the city of Detroit.
Awesome. Kai.
Just like the two panelists before me, thank you for having me today. How I got here today was, so I'm the Chief Operating Officer for the Metro Detroit Black Business Alliance. In essence, we're a Black Chamber of Commerce that serves Oakland, Wayne, and Macomb County. And so prior to that, I was the Executive Director for Development for the City of Detroit. And so our focus is on supporting small to micro Black businesses in the Metro Detroit area, providing advocacy, access to capital. And so I'm here physically today by the relationship with TJ. DCFC was one of our early partners who signed on to support the alliance. And so as a corporate partner, we've been kind of putting our heads together in ways in which we can raise up Black entrepreneurs. And so, what many of the people here have seen today is we've got a number of our members who are downstairs who are kind of showcasing their businesses. And so very appreciative of the DCFC efforts and the partnership with you all.
Awesome. That's actually the perfect segue for what I want to go into first. Like, all this is possible here in Detroit because of just like the marriage between the community and also just the leaders in commerce here. Tell me about like the energy that's found at the intersection of like commerce and sport here in Detroit. How does that help build community? I can either of you two, and all of you can chime in actually, to be honest.
I guess I'll keep it going. So for us, it's been amazing to see the support that we have from organizations like DCFC. I'll shout the Pistons out as well. The Detroit Pistons is another corporate partner of ours, and they've been huge supporters of Black entrepreneurship in the city of Detroit. And so, I never played soccer. I was a soccer dad. I'm a soccer uncle now. But I grew an affinity for the game within the last 5 to 10 years, watching my son play. His teammates kind of continue on even when he stopped, and now my niece is in the Olympic development program and stuff like that. So I actually really enjoy it. But also I've traveled, extensively around the world, and this is the sport, right? Like basketball is growing. I grew up playing baseball. You don't see that anywhere outside of the U.S. Soccer is the one sport that I've seen in all my travels, and I've played against kids in Ghana, in Italy. Of just watching other kids play, and I just naturally jump in. So it's the global game. I'm excited to see the team doing well here in the city of Detroit, and the outreach that you all are doing to get more Black kids playing soccer, because as I said, it is a global game.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on what Kai said, in terms of the intersection between commerce and sports, I think that starts with community, and I think you alluded to that, Ty. When you build a sports club, a franchise, you can look at our model here at DCFC. You can look at other sports franchises. And I think they're best built when it's community-led, community-driven, and community-supported. And that's the foundation of kind of everything that you do. And so as a part of that community, there are also, local businesses. There are small businesses. There's commerce that's also, ingrained in the community as well. So I think that's where the intersection lies, and that's really what this event is about. This first event, this Black Business Expo, is to really highlight a lot of the local businesses that we have here in Metro Detroit, offer them, the access, obviously, to our facilities, introduce them, to our fans and vice versa, and really to strengthen that relationship in the community that we have. So.
And obviously within the community, like, it always seems that things start, they take hold if you can get to the youth. And I feel like with what For Soccer Ventures and the Black Star Initiative, like, what they brought is an actual creating an entry point for the youth. Honestly, Warren, could you kind of give me like an overview of like just the mission of this initiative?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a very ambitious goal, that Black Star has. I think in just bringing more Black people to the sport of soccer from the ground up, right? So with that, you kind of want to start ticking away at different things, and I think the main three things I'd say, that are the main focal points at this point is, gaining that access to the game at an early age, getting young kids in, allowing them to, be familiar with the game, see the game, and it becomes normal to them. I think, soccer's been almost a novelty in the U.S., especially in the Black community, and the more you become, normalized to it, it just becomes more natural. And I think more and more families and more, communities will start gravitating towards the sport. Additionally, partnering with existing platforms that are already doing the work, like DCFC, and building a bridge to resources and, allowing, these communities that may thrive with further resources, have that ability, because that's super important. I was talking to, Sekou, and he was telling me about his club growing up and how they had to fold because they didn't have the funding, and some kids may or may not have been able to continue playing because their local team wasn't there anymore, and while some others might have been fortunate to go on. So it's things like that, and just access. I think that's the number one thing, educationally, professionally, from the ground up. There aren't a ton of Ray Gaddises. There aren't a ton of Marlon Harristons where they come from Black American households in the MLS, right? You look at, people like myself, people like Sean Johnson's, we all have Caribbean backgrounds, right? A lot of the kids have African backgrounds. I think bringing it to American Black communities is a huge touch point because it's not as endemic as it is in Caribbean and African diaspora, right?
And so, not to like dive too deep into it, but I have a question. I'll ask Kai this because to stay in this world of, we're talking about how like there's not as much access to the sport. I've always told people that for me, the culture, we love flavor, right? We love things that have that. Soccer is one of those sports that just naturally has that, right? So as someone who's like proximity to the sport, like what would like grab you to be more like, I don't want to say interested, but what would make you want to dive deeper into it? Because I feel like that's like the question we're all asking is like, how can we make it not just accessible, but also something that we like collaborate around, something that we join in? Like what do that for you? Like what continues to make you want to dive deeper into it?
I think if I had to put myself in the shoes of a youth, I think it's dope to see players who look like you, right? And I'll take Bape for as an example, right? This last World Cup, he kind of I see a lot more black kids wearing Bape jerseys, right? Who they probably couldn't pronounce his name before that, but you see somebody who is he's tall, he's talented, he's good looking, right? And he's super athletic. I think when you see a lot of times when you see images of people who look like you, then you tend to want to play the sport. Growing up playing baseball, it was the same thing, right? I saw people who look like me, which you see in baseball now. You don't see as many black players, and so the enrollment of black youth playing the sport has declined as well. And so I think soccer is actually a beneficiary of that, right? You're starting to see more and more players who look like, to Warren's point, who are not just Caribbean but Black American players. And as you see them, then you'll see more. I think black kids get involved in the sport. I think the flavor, the sauce that you have. I think you see videos now of the equivalent of like a crossover. I don't know what you call it in soccer, but like when you see guys with the fancy footwork, those type of things, I think when you, especially now how everybody consumes things in like 60-second clips, I think the more kids see that, the more inclined they are to want to play the sport. And I think they're starting to see more and more clips. I think the Instagram dude, Filet, like he's doing like, soccer highlights now. And so like more and more kids, as they see that, the sport gets cooler to them. Oh, I want to do that. I can do that. And so, I love to see it. I like I said, I have a niece who I love watching her play and dominate other little girls. So that's just me.
Yeah, it's funny because I also love like just the vibe that this event brings. I feel like taps into that because I've also found that almost everyone is playing FIFA, right? And we get to see that side of it, but there's almost a disconnect when you go look at the sport from the American side. Sometimes you don't see that sauce and flavor. So I feel like here at the ground level, you see more of that. And here, even DCFC, like people love winning. That winning goes a long way. So with that, like how has that helped kind of like draw in the youth so far?
That's all these guys. That's their field of expertise. Yeah, I mean we have a pretty winning club. We've done really well, and this weekend I think we win and a couple things break right. We'll win the league again for the fall season. So it's really exciting. But whether we're winning or not, we have a robust set of youth programming here at DCFC that our players get involved with, our supporters get involved with, and obviously our staff as well. Tyler, our youth director, kind of leads it. So, what we're doing, we have some rec programming, but we also have 5 affiliate clubs, youth clubs that are based throughout the state of Michigan. One that's based here in Detroit. They're mostly U8 through U14, 15 age for each club. So we have a pretty robust set of youth programming that our players get involved with. And like I said, whether we're winning or losing, we're going to be doing that work. But it only helps when the club is doing well, and we can amplify what we're doing on the field and show the community that, hey, we do have a winning pro team here in Detroit. It's been a struggle the last few years in Detroit sports across the gamut. So it's something that certainly helps too.
So it's a question more for UTJ and Warren here. Why Detroit for this first initiative? Why bring specifically this sport to the African American communities here?
Yeah, I mean, mainly, I think it's a no-brainer just for the love and support that the community shows for Detroit's professional team, to be able to partner with DCFC and in such a heavily populated black city, I think was the perfect launch point to really start the initiative that we're trying to kick off. They're a perfect example of what we're trying to build and amplify. If we can, create more DCFCs, around the country and, amplify that, I think that's the goal.
Yeah, in addition to that, I'll say, I've been describing Detroit over the past couple of weeks as a challenger city, and we are an upstart as a city sometimes. We have that mentality is that we're going to hustle our way to the top. And that is ingrained in our club as well. And so when you think about that, those two things combined with what we're trying to do in terms of grow the game in the Black American community and Black communities across Detroit, it's a bit of an uphill battle, right? We're doing something that is being done, but we're also amplifying what's being done, and we're trying to grow it even more. So I think those three areas kind of combine and all intersect at that area of just being upstarts and kind of challengers to the current model and the status quo.
So we kind of touched on this earlier, and this is a question for all three of you guys. We talked about the importance of the youth in the community seeing, people that look like us play the sport. But I want to kind of talk about the platform itself, and each of you can take a moment here. Why do you think it's important in this fast-growing sport? I mean, it's the quickest growing sport. You've got the World Cup coming up in end of next year, and then the World Cup comes to our shores in 26. Why do you think it is important to have these voices that are African American right now in the sport of soccer moving forward?
Man, it's gonna be massive, man. Like you just touched on, with the World Cup coming next year and more relevantly in 26, I think there's a real opportunity to make a push, and it's across a couple fronts, right? It's one, just that access that we've been talking about, but also, we wanna build winners, right? That we want to see this nation perform. We want to see our best athletes on the soccer field, right? And I don't think that comes without the involvement of the African American community. And I think it'll be, a real catalyst for that, with that generation being able to see up close and personal the game at the largest, avenue coming to their home cities. And I just think it's a really, really huge opportunity.
I would I want to piggyback on that because what it makes me think about is I guess I'm old enough to remember the '92 Olympics and the Dream Team, right? That was a huge opportunity for basketball, and basketball really exploded globally on the heels of the dominance that the Dream Team was able to do during the Olympics. I think the same opportunity exists. To Warren's point, the more Black voices you have, the more Black folks that you have playing it. I mean, culturally, a lot of Black culture drives culture in this country, whether we believe it or not. And so I think the more Black voices you have that are helping to amplify the game of soccer, I think that in 26, when you see the World Cup come to the U.S., I think that opportunity exists similar to the Dream Team, where they were able to blow basketball up globally, I think the reverse can happen here in the U.S. with soccer.
Yeah, and not much more needs to be said there. But you hit on it. Like the upcoming World Cups, especially 26 in the U.S. and Canada and Mexico, I believe. Those are just natural inflection points. And for someone like myself who wasn't involved in soccer from 5 until 20 till age 30 maybe. I was watching World Cups, in between time. And so, I was still watching the game at that level, and it interested me, right? And so it'll be really important for our youth to see that here locally and just really around the country. We want to make sure that, DCFC and through BSI and this initiative that, we're introducing the game so that when those big inflection points happen, kids are like, oh, okay, I see why this is why they've been pushing this. I see why they've introduced us to this sport because the crowds will have out in those games will be fantastic and it'll just be fun. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, before we wrap up here, I want to kind of bring it back to why we're here. Would you like to tell us about exactly what's happening this week and over the next couple of days here?
Sure. So right now, what's happening is the Black Business Expo, which we talked about. It's running until 4 p.m. It's in partnership with the Metro Detroit Black Business Alliance and BSI. We have some cool vendors here. You come out, patronize their businesses, really the purpose of this event is to empower our community economically. Right? There are different ways we can empower the community, and economically is one of the ways. You see Kai's shirt there. And then later tonight we'll have the coaching clinic at 6 o'clock. And so it'll be coaches from around the city of Detroit and other places here to get some training from our coaches and some other coaches that are coming in town. That event is important because we can grow the game and have youth playing, but we also need to make sure we're equipping adults with the right soccer skills and coaching skills to teach our kids the right way. On Saturday at 9 a.m., we have the youth clinic. That's for kids ages 5 through 14. That's running until 12 p.m. DCFC matches at 4 p.m. At Keyword Stadium. Then on Sunday, we have another clinic, so to speak, or elite showcase that we're calling it for high school age kids. And there'll be some scouts here, coaches and things like that from across the country who will have a chance to see, the talent that we have here in Detroit. So really exciting. All events taking place at the Fieldhouse.
Awesome. And we'll be here all weekend as well. Warren, for you real quick, what's the vision and the future for Black Star Initiative? This is dope. This is happening right now. But what's the next couple of years look like as it goes forward?
I think continuing to build relationships such as these, continuing to build foundations, nationally, and be a resource, be a partner, and expand, create around the game, make it attractive for these young kids, and I think, I keep driving home, access, finding different ways to create that, opportunity and access to the game is the main vision. And, doing more of these and, making it sustainable. So it's not just, coming to town, you never, Detroit never hears about Black Star again, or, you guys, it just storm off. But, sustainability, I think, is the number one thing, and it's the thing that sets you apart from different organizations that have the best intentions. So that's the ultimate goal.
Awesome. Well, first of all, I want to thank you guys all for your time. I wanted to leave it open for any final remarks here, and then I will take us home here.
I said this yesterday on a call, but I just want to thank everyone for being here. Thank you to everyone that's come in town. We love when people come visit our city of Detroit. so that we can spread nice things and words about the city. So we thank you all for being here. Black Star Initiative, the Metro Detroit Black Business Alliance, 2 Cent Sports, For Soccer Ventures, just kind of generally our fans, players are here supporting, coaches, staff. I'm just very thankful and grateful to everyone that's come out and that's going to be a part of this weekend. So,
yeah, just off the back of that, thank you for having us again. Thank you to, DCFC for, putting this whole thing together. I listened to TJ's episode on 2 Cents Podcast, and he had a lot of amazing, great things to say about Detroit. And, I think he may or may not be the mayor of the city. And I'm really looking forward to that red carpet rollout and, really see what Detroit's all about. And Kai, I'm leaning on you as well, so let me know.
I guess I'll wrap it up with, on behalf of the vendors who are here, really appreciative for those folks that have already, walked by their tables and supported their businesses. Thankful for DCF for being a partner of ours this year and, looking forward to many years to come. Thank you to Black Star Initiative for even kind of keeping us in mind for this. So thank you all for the opportunity.
yeah, and let's get back downstairs after this and check out some more of those businesses too.
Well, again, I appreciate you all stakeholders involved. And thank you, DCFC, for Soccer Ventures and Black Star Initiative. I'm always going to mess it up, my man. I'm so sorry. It's the Metro Black. What he said, exactly. And all of us here at 2 Cents FC, thank you guys for joining us. We're out.
Appreciate it.